Welcome back, folks. My name's Hassan, and in today's video, we are checking out the Electro Voice RE320. This is an end-addressed dynamic microphone. Let's get into it. It is an end-addressed dynamic microphone. It has a cardioid pickup pattern. In the box, it comes with the mic, a hard shell case, which is rare these days, and an adapter so you can mount it in different scenarios. For most of this video, I will not be doing any processing or post-processing. Right now, it is plugged directly into the Rodecaster Pro 2. I have a 51 decibel of input gain selected, and no processing as well. The fader is at unity, and yeah, it is directly plugged into it. There's no inline preamps or anything else as well. Now in post, I will be increasing the levels just so that the microphone or the audio levels are at the normal -6 to -12 between that. Now, as I said earlier that this is a cardioid pickup pattern, I will now do a simple pickup pattern test. So right now the microphone is at a 90-degree angle, and this is what it sounds like. And right now the microphone is pointing away from my face on the opposite side towards the camera, and this is what it sounds like. Going back 90 degrees and back in front of my face. Now let's do a proximity test. So right now I'm 1 fist distance away from it. So if I go all the way close to it, you can hear that there is no proximity effect in this mic. And if I go back, and this is how much it rejects the sound. Now let's do a plosive rejection test. Now, this mic doesn't come with either the shock mount or a pop filter or a windscreen of any kind. So let's hear how it performs with plosives. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper. Now let's do a handling noise. This is where the lack of shock mount will come into play. But what I'm going to do is now knock on the desk. Then I will start knocking on the base of the stand, then the pole of the stand, and then the mic itself to hear how much of that gets picked up by the microphone capsule. And it does a pretty abysmal job. Now let's do a keyboard test. Now this is a mechanical keyboard with tactile switches, but they're not the loudest blue switches, but they will still work. So in the back of this mic, there's a switch. And you can switch between the general curve, which is a more of a flatter tone, which I'm using right now, and what they call a kick drum curve, which boosts the highs and it pushes down the mids. So let's just switch to that. So right now you're listening to the kick drum curve sound. And initially when I was playing with it, I kind of liked how it sounds with voice, but now I kind of prefer the other option better. So according to the website, the kick drum curve is ideal for bass drum miking. So if you have a bass drum, then you can use this. I don't play drum or any other musical instruments. It is not for me. But if I switch back to the general curve, then this is what it sounds like. And according to the website, the general curve is ideal for other instruments and voice. So it's pretty good for, or it's recommended for voice as well. So if you're doing a podcast or if you're doing any vocal stuff, recording your videos or podcasts or live streaming, then just stick to this. Now, if you do like your voice with the kick drum curve, play with it and just use that. Whichever sounds better for your voice to your ears. Now in the plosive rejection, I think I can hear that it has a really decent pop filter built inside. Because other microphones will be very bad, like the Rode Procaster I tested. I made a separate video about it. It did a very bad job, but this Electro Voice RE320 is a very, very good at plosive rejection. In terms of the polar pattern, it's a very good, and you can hear that it's kind of rejecting the sounds from the sides, which is really good if you're podcasting and if you have someone else next to you with a similar microphone, then their voice will not bleed into your mic or vice versa if you're using this microphone. But the lack of the shock mount means that all of these sounds will get picked up very easily. So I would recommend get a shock mount. If you cannot, or like me, cannot justify paying that much for a shock mount for this mic, then maybe use something like a boom arm that is mounted away from you, so it will pick up much less of these desk knocking or any other sounds. So far, I have the processing turned off in the Rodecaster Pro 2. And so what I'll do is I'm going to turn it on as it rains outside. Perfect timing, because so far you were listening to the microphone raw. There's no processing in the Rodecaster Pro 2 right now, and I'm not doing any post-processing as well. But if you get a microphone like this, you would rather process it if you want to use it in different places, in different scenarios. So I will now turn the processing on. Okay, so this is what it sounds like with a very mild processing enabled. I just used the basic processing on, and the preset is set to neutral. So this is the neutral processing or neutral sound effect. I'm going to now switch to the Podcast Studio, which is the next level, and see how that sounds. Now, this is the Podcast Studio preset. The last step is the Broadcast, which boosts up the lower frequency even more. So if I go to Broadcast, then this is what it sounds like. So this is more like a radio sound. This is more like that heavy, bassy radio voice. Now, if you have a sound voice like me, that is a little bit not that low, then you can play with this. But keep in mind, if you do too much processing, it might even be fatiguing for your listeners to listen to your voice for longer periods of times. So I would probably err on the low side of things. Is that even correct? Did I use that err correctly? Just use mild processing. Less is more kind of technique. In terms of the build quality, this is a full metal body and it is fully painted black, but for some reason they did not paint the grill, which is interesting because there are other microphones like the Electro Voice RE320 has fully painted body, which, I mean, I don't like this color, but still it is completely painted. Even the Electro Voice RE27 is fully painted as well. I want to buy the RE27 as well, but in Australia, it costs more than double the MSRP. For some reason, I don't know why. But I'm going to wait before I buy that mic. But I'll make a video on the RE20 separately and do a separate comparison as well. But so far, this is all I wanted to say about this mic. I am in love with this. I love how it sounds like. In terms of the pricing, this costs less than the RE20 as well. You can get it I got it for like 459 Australian dollars. Now, prices do change. Just check your local stores for how much they sell for. But yeah, you will not be disappointed by this mic. I love this. It's a pretty good build quality. It has a nice carrying case. It sounds really good. The only negative sides are, well, there's only one negative side, which is the handling noise. Let me know in the comments below if you have any thoughts on this microphone, or if you have any questions that you can also ask those as well. See you in the next video. Cheers.